Welcome to another in my series of top fives for the phone show. The last was 6 months ago, making this long overdue. As usual, there are a whole bunch of near misses. The new Lumia flagships, this is the 950 XL, would have been up here, but for numerous hardware and software issues. Some of my old favourites like the Nexus 5 and Lumia 1020 are just that too old now. But I'd still find myself seeing far too many compromises across this industry. In fact, there are fewer real contenders to choose from by my high standards. Narrowly missing out was the OnePlus X, which I love to bits, describing as a Nexus 5 Plus, and which would have been in the 5 except that it's only really sold and supported from one location, whereas the phones here are much more widely distributed. At number 5, we have the Honor 7, now nearly a year old, amazingly. Where has the time gone? Hitting every single sweet spot and spec point, including 3 gig of RAM. You don't get NFC, but you get all the rest for not much more than £200, depending on which special offer you find on it. At number 4, I still have to include an iPhone, the 6S here or the 6S Plus, depending on size preference, simply because it's the de facto recommendation to anyone who's not interested in geekery and just wants their smartphone to work with zero effort and zero fiddling. Also because many people are forced into it to stay compatible with family, it seems. Happily, the Apple iPhones are solid choices these days and have been since 2011, with great support, masses of applications, good components, and great resale value. They may be expensive to acquire in the first place, but to misquote IBM from the 1980s, no one ever got sent to bed without supper for buying their partner an iPhone. At number 3, against all my better judgment because of its ultra-sealed nature and fragility worries, as long as you're really careful with it, the Huawei-made Google Nexus 6P is perhaps the ultimate Android powerhouse. Not cheap at £500 for the 64 gig version, but lovely screen, blazing speed, very decent camera, great stereo speakers, and lightning fast fingerprint recognition. At number 2 is my quirky pick for this top 5. We just had the Nexus 6P, so here's the original 6. Why? What? Aside from the lack of fingerprint sensor, I think the Nexus 6 has got plenty going for it. Even better front-facing stereo speakers, bigger AMOLED screen, better battery life, stronger and very repairable design. I don't know whether you've seen the breakdown, the teardown videos. A camera with OIS, and it's half the price. Available new now from resellers for £250 or so, and £150 second hand. But at number 1, and I apologise for following the tech herd here, but it really is that good, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Don't bother with the regular one unless you really need the slightly smaller form factor. This is my top pick as at March 2016. I was dumbfounded to see how good a job Samsung has done with the rounded screen and back. This 5.5-inch screen phablet feels natural and secure in the hand. My finger and thumb easily touch. This is a 5.5-inch screen phablet. Amazing. The Galaxy S series has been evolving slowly but surely. The S4 was the jack of all trades, still famed today. The S5 was plastic fantastic, but did introduce waterproofing and extra sensors. The S6 and Edge variants brought metal and curves, but at the expense of flexibility and waterproofing and with the curves in the wrong places. While the S7 and the S7 Edge absolutely nail the design with perfect form factor, fully waterproof, fully sensored up, including fingerprint sensor and micro SD support, and the fastest, best phone camera that Samsung has ever made, and Nokia style, always on glance on the utterly gorgeous QHD AMOLED screen. Okay, you still have to deal with TouchWiz, a little more polished here, but still oversized and cartoony on the large screen. But you can live with it if you have to, or just replace the launcher with Google's and have done with it. You do get Edge shortcuts. Swipe these in from the right for fast access to favourite apps, contacts and tasks as defined by you. This is a whole new launcher idea and a little tacked on, but I can see how you could get to grips with it and fly around faster as a result. The camera is excellent, though Samsung's insistence on artificial sharpening is a little annoying if you look too closely. The f/1.7 aperture means you get a lot of light on the sensor, rated at 9 megapixels in typical 16:9 mode, so great performance in low light helped by OIS. Plus, the focusing is astonishing. The whole sensor is used for phase detection, and autofocus is effectively instant in almost all light conditions. Inside, there's 32 gigabytes of storage, expandable, as I said before, 4 gigabytes of RAM, a Snapdragon 820 chipset or Exynos equivalent. I'd have liked a better speaker. This one's mono, and it's loud enough. It's good, but it's not the best. I'm kind of spoilt by stereo speakers on the aforementioned, but you can't have everything. The Galaxy S7 Edge is expensive, £600 or so, definitely premium, but it's still cheaper than most iPhones and outguns them in almost every department. If you can afford it and want Android, and if you don't have to have a Nexus, then this is the smartphone of the year and the one to go for.